Well, hey, I'm Greg, and welcome to Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, now we're going to be featuring the all-new FREEWING 90mm version 2 F-22. Version 2 F-22, it rhymes. Now, if you watch my unboxing build, I did mention that I'm going to go ahead off camera and install a KM model afterburner. So I've done that. You just simply remove the hatch off the back of the EDF, pull your EDF out. On the back of all FREEWING models, they know you're adding, or their FREEWING jets, they know that on their Inrunner, they know you're going to be adding a afterburner, so they've got two holes that are actually on the back of the motor. On the outward drum, well, KM models, they know that, and they provide you with screws, and the back half of their afterburner bolts right on. They give you a screw, machine screws. It just bolts right on the back. They give you some zip ties. You run your wire through, okay, and then you zip tie it in place to where it doesn't slide around. Okay, that's just that simple. And then you're going to need to provide yourself with a good quality Y, and you're going to Y that into your throttle lead, okay? And that's what this blue and yellow wire is here, and that's the controller for the afterburner. All I did was I pulled the battery tray, the 4 screws, pulled that out, ran the wire, put the battery tray back down. All right, what I did, I took the blue box, I turned it sideways. Okay, instead of going width wise, I put long ways, and then bolted it back down with those screws, and I mounted my AR 620 or AR 830T 60T 8-channel there, and put the satellite up there, and that way it fits in there perfectly and doesn't in any way interfere with the blue box. I mean, the blue box just handles the sequence of the doors, and basically it's a glorified Y. It's all it really is. Install the afterburner. That's where I've got the 5200 now. Something I discovered outside doing a range test. I went down the street, gave it full reverse, and the reverse thrust is so effective, it blew the hatch a couple of times. And I kept thinking, well, wait a minute, that shouldn't be. And the pin is plenty long. Well, what it is that piece of hard tape that they have for you to grab a hold of, it's so thick that it doesn't let the pin fully engage. And I couldn't push it into place. I kept looking, well, it's riding on that tape. So I took the tape out, and I just did my zip tie mob. Yes, I know it kind of ruins the looks, but the tape doesn't allow for the pin to fully engage. So I removed the tape, poked a hole right through there, came out, just took a zip tie, lopped it off, took the end that I lopped off, ran it through the loop of the zip tie, and glued that in. And now I've got something to grab a hold, and that pin fully engages now. I mean, it goes all the way front, and that hatch ain't going to come off. All right. Now, I loosely followed the book. Real quick while I got them all up. CG is, I was showing you in the build, where I've got the battery at, it's perfect. Perfect right there, okay? All right, right on them CG marks. So the book CG, where I showed you I put the battery in the unboxing build, is perfect. All right, let's go over now these are not necessarily by the book, they're fairly close. But this is what I did, Fat Guy style, and I got the forward programming. Okay, my rates that I put on the model are just real simple. On aileron and elevator, 100% throws, 30% expo. Okay, for my high rates, mid rates are 85 with 30% expo, and low rates are 70. With 30% expo on aileron and elevator. Now on rudder, I just picked one rate, and that's 100% throws with 30% expo. Okay, my flap settings are fairly close to the book, but there again, they're flat Fat Guy style. Flaps up are negative 100%. Takeoff flaps are negative 20 with a 4% down elevator mix. And then landing are a positive 60 with an 8% down elevator mix. But understand, that is untested. I have to fly this to see if I like it. I just picked that based upon my experience with the other F-22s and how I like to fly. And we're going to see how that goes. Now, my forward programming that I did, got to have the throttle off. I have this. This is how I set up all of my jets. Okay, the gyro settings, the AS3X, the regular gains, the stock gains are where I start at with 40, 50, and 60 in roll, pitch, and yaw. However, when I fly the first time and get her all trimmed out and I'm happy with it, then I'll capture those gains and then I'll share those with you after the maiden. And that's where my gains will be. Now, if I find they're not enough or too much, I can always readjust and recapture them. But that's where I'll start with my gain. Now, priority, I usually, on these jets like this, I set my priority all at 100 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Heading, didn't do anything with heading. My stop lock, I do that at 50 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Gain sensitivity, one-time gains, and nothing with release rate. And the nose wheel gyro, I have that set for a 5-second delay from when the gear goes up, and when the gear goes down, there's 5 seconds as it goes down, and that's about how long it takes that gear to go up and down. And then the nose wheel gyro will engage. I have that set on a set, like I do all my jets, a 50% window with a 50% gain. So in other words, it's going to be within that, and I found that that works real well. My road is not real easy. It kind of has a concave shape to it, and keeping that 50% window, I was running her up and down my road doing a range test, and it absolutely keeps that thing locked in. So I like that, 50% on that. And the priority on the nose wheel is 180 for the priority. But anyways, that's my setup. I'm going to got the time set for the first time for 3.5 minutes, but probably end up being a little over 4. This entire plane is a lifting body, and the FREEWING F-22s, they have the lowest stall of all of their planes. I mean, the whole thing's a lifting body, so therefore it's kind of efficient. Kind of like their Panther is very, very, the whole thing's a lifting body. I gave her a clear coat, the zip tie mod, the clear coat, and the KM model version 5 Afterburner is the only thing I've modded. Other than that, she's all bone stock. I haven't put any special servos or anything. I leave all that kind of modding to the two brothers. But I like to show the plane as it is as you get out of the box and what you can expect out of it. I've noticed that the underside of the front intakes here are all now have hard plastic cladding. Not on top, but on the sides, which the other one didn't. You've got some plastic underside here, right here, and this is a wear point. Of course, you got the lights. The quick connects for the wings, yes, it's the push button, but you still have the ribbon. A lot of guys kind of blow about that. That doesn't bother me at all. You just plug them in. It takes 5 seconds. It's nothing. You do have nice double lights now on the front nose. And I don't know if it's just me. I don't have the actual numbers, but I probably could do an actual comparison. But just picking this plane up and picking my other 90 up, my other 90 F-22, this thing feels lighter. It just feels lighter to me. I was carrying out the garage to do the range test down the street, and I'm thinking, this thing just feels so light, and I got the same battery in it that I use in the other one. So maybe they've changed the formula of their foam. I don't know, but it looks great. I can't wait to fly it. Unfortunately, I got to work. I got 3 days I got to work right in a row, 14-hour days. It's late Friday, early. It's late Thursday night, early Friday morning. I got to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so I'll have to wait till Monday to, hopefully Monday, if the weather cooperates with me, take this thing out and give you a maiden. But stay tuned. We're going to do a little camera roll of it sitting here with the lights on and off. And God bless y'all. And that's just my basic setup. Now, I may change those rates and everything after I fly, and a little more on the elevator, a little less on the aileron, whatever. Just, I won't know, but that's where my starting point at. And it's fairly close. You got to remember, with Spectrum, it's a percentage, not millimeters. And, I mean, I could have used a throw gauge and kind of figure that out, but I've done enough of these jets that I'm confident how I set them up to where I feel very good about it. And that's just how I do it. I'll start up with being bench trim. In other words, everything's nice and straight. I'll pick the rates that I know should work for this type of a plane. I go fly it, and then I adjust from there. So that's just me. I'm fairly close to the book. I'm always on the book with CG, and I'll move that battery around until I get that factory CG, and she's spot on. I don't know if I showed you that or not, but it's been a couple of hours, so I don't have any memory. But that's where I've got the 5200 right there, and you can see where the strap at. So if I get a 6000, I'll go back about half an inch. 4000, I might go a half an inch more forward. I put some tape in to lock those air antennas in, and then where I ran that wire for, or isolated the wire for the steering servo, I put some tape back down so that it won't slip back out, and I got that antenna, or the satellite right there. And yeah, there you go. Good looking plane. Can't wait to fly it. And all right, well, there you go. God bless y'all. Don't forget, faith, family, and friends. Stay tuned next. We're going to do a little bit of a camera roll. So God bless y'all, and we'll see you at the field. Bye-bye.